My name is Brianna. This is the story of how I spent 10 years being mocked by my family only to get the sweetest revenge. Every time I attended a family gathering, my younger sister Samantha would say the same, "You're still working reception, Brianna?" And every single time, the nearby relatives would chuckle. Brianna's always been a bit slow, you know. She's just not as smart as Samantha, so it can't be helped. Honestly, it's impressive she's even kept a receptionist job for this long. I heard those same lines for 10 years, every single gathering, and each time it wore me down a little more. But here's the truth: I was hiding a massive secret from all of them. I'm the CEO and founder of an AI tech company called Technova Solutions. It's a multi-billion-dollar platform enterprise I built from scratch. Our annual revenue exceeds $1 billion. We have branches across the United States and over 2,000 employees. Some of the biggest corporations in the world use our AI technology. I was even listed in a top business magazine as one of the 50 most influential entrepreneurs in the world. But to my family, I was still just Brianna the receptionist. Why? Because I was waiting for the perfect moment for the ultimate revenge. The more they looked down on me, the more spectacular the reveal would be. This all began 10 years ago when I had just graduated college at 22. Back then, I really was a receptionist. I worked for $10 an hour at a tiny company while studying business at night. I had made a vow to myself I would succeed no matter what. I'd been a top student in business school, but my family never saw any potential in me. Samantha, 2 years younger than me, had always been the smart one. She was constantly praised, and she loved to remind me of her superiority. "You're just not good at anything, aren't you? I've already got an offer from a multinational firm, and you're still answering phones? You lack ambition, Brianna. You'll probably be stuck like this forever." What hurt the most was that our parents always took her side. "Samantha's brilliant, she's going to be just fine. Brianna's just not cut out for anything challenging. At least she has a stable job." Every family gathering revolved around Samantha. She was always the center of attention, while I sat in a quiet corner, invisible. But the moment that changed everything came during a family meeting when I was still 22. My father looked me in the eye and said, "Brianna, you should just stick with reception. You're not the ambitious type. It's better if you accept your place and stop aiming too high." That sentence lit something inside me. A fire of shame, fury, and resolve I'd never felt before. I wanted revenge, but I didn't just want to succeed. Because I knew that if I simply told them I was doing well, they'd brush it off, say it was luck or a fluke. So I made up my mind. I would get my revenge with perfect timing, in the most perfect way. I'd keep playing the role of pathetic Brianna in front of my family, hiding my true potential, and while they let their guard down, I'd build something extraordinary. Then, 10 years later, at the very moment they looked down on me the most, I'd reveal everything. That was when the real fight began. By day, I worked reception. By night and weekend, I buried myself in coding and IT study. It was brutal. Work from 9 to 6, dinner. Then study from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m., 5 hours of sleep on a good day. But I had a powerful source of motivation. The desire to prove my family wrong was enough to erase every trace of exhaustion. I started small, building websites, $300 for a salon site, $500 for a reservation system for a local restaurant. I was soon making $5,000 a month, 5 times my receptionist's salary. But in front of my family, I kept complaining about how hard things were financially. I lived in a cheap apartment and maintained a modest lifestyle, all to make sure no one ever suspected how successful I really was. In year 2, I dove deep into AI. It wasn't trendy yet, but I knew it was the future. I devoured everything: machine learning basics, natural language processing, free YouTube lectures, blogs, research papers, anything I could get my hands on. And finally, I created my first major hit, Chatbot Assistant Pro, an AI customer service tool for small businesses. The app was designed to automatically respond to customer inquiries, simple enough for even the smallest businesses to use. I priced it affordably at $100 per month. And it was a massive hit. Within the first month, 1,000 companies had adopted it. By the third month, that number had surpassed 100,000. When our monthly revenue hit $1 million, even I could hardly believe it. That success caught the attention of Silicon Valley investors. They wanted to know who built this AI. Funding offers started pouring in. Still, I said nothing to my family. I kept up the act at family gatherings, sighing about how hard my receptionist job was. That period was exhilarating. By day, I was answering phones in a tiny office, forcing polite smiles at customers. By night, I was negotiating multi-million-dollar deals. It felt like two people lived inside me. In year 3, I officially founded Teknova Solutions. In fact, a major turning point came at the end of my second year. I had received a $5 million investment offer from a major venture capital firm. But to accept it, I needed to become a real company, not just a solo freelancer. In other words, I had outgrown being a small-time sole proprietor. It was either I build a real company or walk away from the opportunity of a lifetime. The choice was obvious. Starting a company was harder than I imagined: lawyers, accountants, offices, corporate accounts, and I had to keep it all secret. A receptionist by day, founder by night. Weekends were spent coding systems or meeting with investors. I slept maybe 3 hours a night. In year 4, I landed my first major corporate contract. A $1 million deal with an auto parts subsidiary of a well-known car manufacturer. Ironically, I had Lucas, my stepbrother, to thank for that. Lucas is the son of my father's second wife and works in IT at a major trading firm. When his company needed a new AI system, he did some research. Teknova Solutions had a stellar, if mysterious, reputation. Lucas had no idea I was behind it. He confidently recommended us to his boss. He never imagined the company he praised so highly belonged to the sister he mocked. That deal instantly boosted our credibility across the entire industry. 3 more large clients followed. I hired 10 full-time employees, 5 engineers, 2 sales reps, 1 accountant, 1 marketing lead, and my most trusted assistant, Cindy. Cindy was special. The only one who knew the truth. Without her, I couldn't have maintained this double life. Then came a phase of growth that went far beyond anything I had imagined. In our 5th year, Teknova Solutions finally surpassed $100 million in annual revenue, and we moved into a new office in one of the most prestigious tech towers downtown. It was nothing short of a storm of expansion: our entry into Silicon Valley, new offices across Europe, a full-scale launch in Asia. Before I knew it, we had become a billion-dollar company with over 2,000 employees. One of the world's top economic magazines even featured me as T. Brian, the mysterious genius entrepreneur. But to my family, I was still playing the role of pathetic Brianna. I used a beat-up old phone, wore unfashionable clothes deliberately, and constantly complained, I just can't keep up with technology anymore. In truth, I had 5 of the latest smartphones and was leading teams building the most advanced AI platforms on Earth. At family gatherings, Samantha still hogged the spotlight. And hiding my real identity was far more emotionally draining than I ever expected. But whenever I thought of my plan, my revenge, it gave me the strength to keep going. Then, in our 10th year, the perfect moment finally arrived. We held a big party to celebrate our grandfather's 80th birthday. About 30 relatives gathered, and as always, the routine began. My cousin Alex proudly announced, "I've made a partner at my law firm." Uncle Howard beamed, "My son just got accepted into med school." And just as predictably, Samantha stood up first. "Everyone, I have an exciting announcement. I've been promoted to director at my international finance firm. It's an incredibly rare promotion for someone my age. I'll be earning $500,000 a year." Applause broke out. "You're amazing, Samantha. You make the family so proud." Samantha grinned and added, "Starting next month, I'll be leading an investment project across the Asia-Pacific region. It's a billion-dollar project." And then, as always, it was my turn. All eyes turned to me with that familiar look of pity. "So, Brianna, how's work going?" Uncle Douglas asked, looking apologetic. As always, I spoke in a small voice. "Oh, same old." Samantha giggled and said, "You're already 32 and still working reception? Come on, you've got to face reality. You just don't have any ambition, so you'll probably stay like that forever." And at that moment, I smiled inside. Because the following day, their world was going to change. Technova Solutions was set to sign the biggest deal in its history, a $200 million project. Tech Giant Corporation, one of the largest tech firms in the US, had chosen us to provide their national-scale AI platform. And by an unbelievable twist of fate, my family was going to be there too. Tech Giant Corporation required 3 key partners for the project. Lucas's trading company was selected as the commercial partner, and the international finance firm where Samantha worked was chosen to represent the financial side. In other words, 4 parties would meet for one critical contract meeting, and 2 of those parties, without realizing it, were my own family. Lucas and Samantha had no idea that Brianna the receptionist was about to walk in as the lead on a $200 million tech project. They didn't know who Technova's CEO was. In the tech world, I was famously anonymous, known only as T. Brian. But tomorrow, they were going to see me sign that $200 million contract with their own eyes. 10 years of planning had brought me to this flawless moment. The next morning, I prepared for the most important day of my life. Wearing a custom-tailored Armani suit, I headed to our downtown headquarters, 3 full floors atop a 60-story skyscraper. But for dramatic effect, I chose the 30th floor conference room instead. It gave me the perfect stage. At 9:30 a.m., I waited in the adjoining room while my assistant Cindy updated me. 4 executives from Tech Giant Corporation have arrived. Lucas is here. Samantha's arrived right on time. At 10:30, Lucas entered the conference room and asked, "Is the CEO of Technova Solutions here yet?" I imagine he's some genius in his 50s, probably a world-class engineer. At 10:45, Samantha showed up in a sharp Chanel suit, full of her usual confidence. "This contract is going to elevate my career overnight," she said proudly. From the side room, I watched everything. Inside the conference room, the atmosphere was buzzing. Everyone was eager to meet the legendary CEO known only as T. Brian. Samantha played it cool, acting superior. I wonder what Technova's CEO is like. Probably a man in his 50s. To build a company like this, he must be some kind of genius. Then, at exactly 11, it was time for me to enter. But first I had one final act planned. I told Cindy to announce. "Our sincere apologies. Our CEO will arrive shortly. In the meantime, a member of our front desk staff will bring the final documents." Yes, I would enter one last time as Brianna the receptionist. The same role I'd performed for a decade. I quickly changed into my old office uniform, the plain, cheap outfit my family was used to. I tied my hair back carelessly, slipped on my glasses, and transformed into pathetic Brianna. With the documents in hand, I quietly opened the door. "Excuse me, here are the materials," I said in my usual soft voice. The executives from Tech Giant barely glanced at me. They looked at me like just the receptionist and didn't pay me any attention. But Lucas and Samantha? Their jaws dropped the moment they saw me. "Huh? Brianna? What are you doing here?" Lucas asked in shock. Just like always, I replied quietly, "Oh, I was sent here on a receptionist assignment. It's just helping out today." Samantha chimed in, "Wow, what a coincidence. You're working at Technova now?" Her tone dripped with condescension. The room stirred with whispers. "Do you know her?" Tech Giant CEO asked. "Yes," Samantha said, clearly embarrassed. "She's my sister. She graduated from college, but she's never been very ambitious, so she's doing front desk work now." Lucas added, "She's my stepsister. I mean, she tries hard, I guess." Both of them were visibly uncomfortable, as if our presence here together had somehow tarnished their own success. Then Samantha turned to me and said, just like always. Hey, Brianna, can you check when the CEO's arriving? Your front desk you should know, right? Go find him, will you? The room went completely silent. This was the moment I had been waiting for 10 long years. I placed the documents on the conference table and slowly walked to the head seat at the table. Samantha looked confused. Wait, what are you doing, Brianna? That's the CEO's seat. I sat down in the premium leather chair reserved only for the CEO. Then I took a deep breath. And for the first time in a decade, I stopped pretending. Actually, I began no longer speaking in that timid, small voice, but with confidence. I am the CEO. The room froze. Samantha's face went pale. Her mouth dropped open like a stunned goldfish. Lucas stammered, What? What kind of joke is this? The executives from Tech Giant Corporation needed a moment to process it. This receptionist is the CEO? I stood up, took the remote for the large monitor on the wall, and pressed play. The screen lit up with a video footage from my CEO appointment ceremony 10 years ago. I've been the founder and CEO of Technova Solutions for the past decade, I said calmly. We're a $2 billion tech company. And today I'm here to finalize a $200 million contract with Tech Giant Corporation. Samantha nearly fell out of her chair. No way. No, this can't be real. You said yesterday you were still a receptionist. I smiled. I was a receptionist 10 years ago. Since then, I've dedicated myself to building this company. But in front of our family, I've kept playing the pathetic Brianna role. Until today. Tech Giant CEO turned to me, stunned. You're T. Brian? The legend? Yes, that's me, I said firmly. Lucas stood up, visibly shaken. Hold on a second. Are you seriously telling me you're the CEO of Technova Solutions? Prove it. I turned to Cindy, my assistant. Bring in the contract and our company registration documents. A few minutes later, the $200 million contract and the official company documents with my name on them were brought into the room. I took them and placed them directly in front of Samantha and Lucas. This is today's contract, a $200 million AI platform development deal. And here is our company registration. See that name? Brianna T. Johnson, CEO and President of Technova Solutions. Then I took the pen and signed the contract. In bold, elegant handwriting, Brianna T. Johnson, CEO, Technova Solutions. Samantha was speechless. Her carefully made-up face turned as pale as snow. Thank you for looking down on me for 10 years, I said. Especially you, Samantha. I'm grateful. Because you underestimated me, I was free to build this company without interference. And every time you told me to face reality, you pushed me to create my own. Lucas looked like he'd seen a ghost. Brianna, you're really T. Brian. The T. Brian? As I finished signing, the mood in the room shifted dramatically. The executives from Tech Giant, who had barely looked at me earlier, suddenly stood up and rushed over. Ms. Johnson, it's an honor to be working with you. We're truly grateful for this opportunity. I've been following your work in AI for years. This is a privilege. The same people who'd ignored me moments ago were now suddenly all polite and respectful. I couldn't help but smile a little at the irony. It was a stark reminder titles and power change everything. Lucas was stumbling over himself to apologize. CEO Johnson, I'm so sorry for the things I said. I had no idea. You're the T. Brian? Watching him panic like that, it made every year of silence worth it. The cold, composed elite he'd always pretended to be? Gone. He couldn't accept that the useless little stepsister he mocked was now 1,000 times more successful than him. But the best reaction came from Samantha. At first, she couldn't speak. She just sat there, mouth flapping open and closed, like a fish out of water. You could practically see the regret sinking in 10 years of mockery coming back to haunt her. Then, once she began to grasp reality, she tried to change her tune. Wow, Brianna, this is amazing. Honestly, I always knew you had potential. That's why I was tough on you. It was out of love. I looked at her coolly. Yesterday, you told me to get real. You said I lacked ambition. Oh, that was just a joke. I was just teasing, sister stuff. I've always supported you. And in that moment, I realized this was why I had kept the act going all these years. This moment. This perfect reversal. But I wasn't about to forgive her so easily. 10 years of humiliation don't just vanish. Samantha, yesterday you said I had no ambition, that I'd be a receptionist forever. You mocked me in front of 30 relatives, didn't you? Samantha's eyes welled up. I'm so sorry, I was wrong, Brianna. I truly am. But I wasn't finished. Do you have any idea how I felt sitting there at every family gathering for 10 years? Feeling everyone's pity while forcing a smile and saying, "That's amazing. Do you even understand what that was like for me?" And then Samantha began to cry. When the meeting ended, both she and Lucas followed me up to my office. My CEO office is on the 59th floor penthouse level. It's about the size of a tennis court, with floor-to-ceiling windows offering a panoramic view of the city. The desk is custom-made Italian marble. The chair alone costs $5,000. On the walls hang awards and letters of gratitude from governments and Fortune 500 companies. This office is incredible, Samantha whispered. This is the reality I built over the last 10 years, I replied. Later that evening, my phone rang. It was our parents. Samantha had told them everything. Brianna, is it true? You're the CEO of a major company. My mother asked, breathless. It's true, Mom, I answered. Why didn't you tell us? We would have supported you, said my father. I answered. Wasn't it you who said you should just stick to reception? You're not the ambitious type? He fell silent. And it's not that I was hiding anything. I just knew you wouldn't believe me. Besides, it was kind of fun being the pathetic Brianna in front of you. I imagine they didn't know how to feel proud or ashamed. And honestly, that was perfect. The next day, word spread like wildfire through the entire family. Brianna was secretly a massive success. The woman they'd pitied for so long, the receptionist, was actually the CEO of one of the most powerful tech companies in the industry. No one had seen it coming. Suddenly, relatives who had never spoken to me were reaching out. People who used to look down on me were now full of warmth. Brianna, could I come visit your company sometime? Can I get your advice on an investment? Do you think you could hire my son? But the most fascinating change was in Samantha. She, who had always strutted around like a queen, became me. At family events, she started watching my expression carefully before speaking. Hey, Brianna, could you tell me more about your work sometime? I'd love to hear your secrets to success. I've been thinking about a career change. Could you give me some advice? But I didn't forgive her so easily. 10 years of humiliation don't vanish in a day. A few months passed. Life had completely changed since the truth came out. Technova Solutions continued to grow faster than ever. I was featured in global media as the tech founder who hid her identity for 10 years. Forbes named me the one most influential female entrepreneur. Our annual revenue passed $3 billion. We now have over 5,000 employees. But the biggest change was my relationship with my family. At first, everyone walked on eggshells around me. Samantha especially was completely withdrawn. But after a while, I realized something. Real victory wasn't in watching her shrink in guilt. Real victory was knowing I had built this empire with my own hands. That I had created one of the world's leading tech companies from scratch with no help, no shortcuts. And so one day I approached her. Samantha, you don't have to carry that guilt anymore. Maybe now, for the first time, we can be equals. Tears filled her eyes. Brianna, I'm so sorry. I was so foolish. Little by little, our relationship began to heal. The hierarchy between us dissolved. We finally became sisters in the truest sense. Today, Samantha works at Technova Solutions. She now leads our finance division, using her expertise where it actually makes a difference. I'm 35 now. Technova has become one of the top tech firms in the world. Our annual revenue has surpassed $5 billion. But the thing I'm proudest of is that I finally get to live life on my own terms. Because of those 10 years, I found real strength. The strength to succeed without anyone's help. The strength to carve my own path. And above all, the strength to believe in myself. There might be someone listening to this right now who feels misunderstood by their family, by the people around them. Maybe you've been told, you can't do it. Be realistic. Know your place. And maybe those words have left you hurt and uncertain. But here's what I want to say. You don't have to live by anyone else's judgment. What matters is what you believe, what you pursue. For 10 years, my family mocked me. But I held on to my dream. I believed in what I could become. And in the end, I achieved a level of success they never even dreamed of. You don't need extraordinary talent to succeed. You need perseverance. You need grit. And above all, you need to believe in yourself. Yes, my revenge is complete. But my true victory wasn't revenge. It was turning belief into reality. So, if you're struggling right now, don't give up. No matter what anyone says, trust your own potential. Even if you fall, rise again. Try again. That's all it takes. And when you least expect it, a future beyond your wildest dreams will unfold. I know because I am that proof. And this isn't the end of my story. It's just the beginning. Technova Solutions will keep growing. We're already moving into aerospace and medical technology. Our mission? To make the world better. And more than anything, I want to uplift people like me, people who are underestimated, people who are close to giving up, people who just need someone to believe in them. I'll keep dreaming bigger, keep reaching higher. And 10 years from now, I'll be telling a whole new success story. Because dreams do come true if you never stop believing.